do 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 do. Almost on topic, but slightly off. Almost planned, but not enough. Almost in sequence when we all talk. Almost random conversations in tandem.
Okay.
Oh my god, your mic's so hot.
Hello and welcome back to episode 27 of Almost Random. After like a month and a half of hiatus, we're back. Me and Troy Boy.
I was never here, so.
Alyse was behind the
Alyse-
scenes. A behind the
Alyse
scenes
was there.
boost.
She was the producer, I guess you could say.
Yes.
You can find
Made sure the
her.
coffee was made.
She produced nasty farts.
You can find her MySpace.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
What's your MySpace?
Alyse Asphyxiation XX.
Is that really?
bar. No.
Oh, I thought that was a real thing.
I deleted it a long time ago, and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, did
'cause
you guys-
it'd just be...
you had a MySpace?
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely had a MySpace.
You definitely had a MySpace. I definitely did not have a MySpace.
It was like really cool.
Yeah.
At the time.
It sounds pretty cool.
But
even
looking
today.
back, it's like, why the fuck did we do that?
What do you mean?
It taught me a lot of coding. I don't know.
See, that's
and
already.
then, I lost it all. So.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
that just means it's not user friendly at all.
No.
No, it could be. Was it like command lines?
Yeah. It was just,
Really?
like, super simple shit.
If you
like,
wanted to, like-
heading and
Oh.
center text.
Oh.
Like I want
that's
to put
pretty
this,
cool.
I want to put
C
this
sharp?
video player in my MySpace page. You had to
Yeah.
know like the coding
Or, like,
format.
hiding the music bar so that people couldn't turn music off when they went to your page.
So
Yeah.
like they had to
I'd
listen
make
to
them
whatever
listen
you.
to like shitty 2003 emo music.
How many songs could you have? See, this sounds amazing
I think
compared
it
to
was just
Facebook.
one when it started out.
I actually
right?
like this. This sounds. I've heard it's coming back.
No
No,
way.
it's
Yeah.
still there, but it's
Yeah.
all like music based now.
Okay.
So it's like for artists and stuff.
Similar to SoundCloud.
Kind of, yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah, I never
well,
had one, so.
if you don't know, this is the podcast about everything and nothing.
Yes.
The last one we did. No, the last one we did. Dan was here.
I talked
but-
about the Three Stooges, I believe.
Was that the last time?
I don't know. No,
Prob-
we might have done one. Just
No,
me and
I know
you?
me and you did one where it was about the Zodiac killer.
Yeah, that was before. That wasn't.
Which that one actually got like more views than the rest, I think, just because the thumbnail was the Zodiac killer.
Wait, the thumbnail was the headshot of the Zodiac.
No, it
Killer?
was like the sketch that they have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some like
You know-
conspiracy theorists trying to like deepen their thoughts and
Yeah,
clicked
yeah.
on your video.
We're deep in conspiracy theories. This podcast is making a pivot
Yeah, and
over
then,
to
and then
just
they
solely
and then they
conspiracy
they
theories.
listened to the podcast and heard like 3 dick jokes and just left.
I mean, but we pretty much shed light. We pretty much know who the Zodiac killer is now. I pretty
Alyse,
much confirmed it.
Tell us your favorite dick joke.
I'd rather not.
All right.
Okay.
So I do
Well,
have kind of a topic
offended.
here. I think Troy has a topic too.
I've got a topic. It's pretty mundane.
All
and
right.
Shitty.
My
so.
topic is if you could go back in time. I think I already told you guys this. Retaining all the knowledge you have currently, where would you go? Like, and I want to.
Like era.
Hold on,
or...
I wanna do
Era
it
and location.
Yeah, I want to do it 2 ways. The first way is like in your life. Like, if,
Okay.
for instance, for me, I would go back to kindergarten.
Gee.
And then we're gonna do it another way, like in general in all of history. Where would you go back to?
I gotta think about this.
We've discussed this before. I'm very hard on the stance. I wouldn't go back pre-puberty. I just don't think I would want to. It
But,
would just
like,
be weird.
Like, think if
Like
you could.
my brain, I don't know. I don't want to do that.
Like my thought process is if I go back to kindergarten, that's like the very first time when teachers can really like analyze you as a student and say like, yo, this kid fucking
So gifted.
this kid knows what 2 times 10 is. Get this motherfucker up to the 1st grade. And I
First
go to
grade.
yeah, and then I go up to 1st
Bump that
grade
guy up to
and then
7th.
I
Yeah.
bust out that cursive a year early and they're like, "All right,
Jump this guy to 3rd grade.
yeah, exactly. I'm just going up grades. Like I'm going to be Billy Madison and graduate high school and like let's be honest, I probably think I'm a lot smarter than
But
I
then
actually
you
am.
you just plateau then. It's like you get to like past high
Well,
school
no, but,
and
like-
then you're like, all right.
But then I would have the opportunity to go back to college and graduate college by the time I'm like 18.
I
Your
don't
debt
need-
would get like
So you're trying to be like.
eradicated.
Yeah.
You would just be super smart and then like I don't know. It would open up a lot of opportunities.
I was gonna say, are you trying to go
At a
back
young
and be
age.
a child prodigy type?
I
like,
have no idea.
By
I
fourth
just think it
grade,
would
you
help.
want the world to know your name type stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I could see why you'd go back.
Dude, I would be on the Ellen show by the time I was in 7th grade.
Yo, she'd
The
probably cut you a
pinnacle of
thick
life.
check from Shutterfly.
Yeah, here's a $50,000 Shutterfly check.
Dude, the pinnacle of achievement is Joel being on the Ellen show. Let's
As a
make that happen,
3-year-old.
Elise. Let's make that happen
I
right
love
now.
Ellen.
Joel
Ellen's
for,
great.
Joel for Ellen 2019.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
make it happen.
That's we got a fuck, what's it called? Kickstarter? Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
I
think
mean,
so.
but like Kickstarter is like for money.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe.
But like, yeah,
We're trying to get a gun.
Yeah,
GoFundMe.
just pay for me to attend the Ellen show.
No, we're get him enough
Probably
money
get
to be
that.
on the Ellen show.
I don't know.
how would you do that, but
But I would probably do that, or like if I could go back in time in general, I'd probably just like go back to the year. I don't know. Like I don't know. It'd be weird because I would just go back in time to a point where it's like, all right, I can invest in McDonald's and Google for super cheap.
Yo, Bitcoin.
I don't-
And
I'd
be
get into
super rich.
Bitcoin super early.
That's
the
true.
thing
yeah.
is, you wouldn't be able to hit both of those stocks in the same. Like Google's way after
Oh yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah, I know.
like-
I'm saying just like in general before
Right.
when. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
my answer.
I think-
I'd go back to
Chipotle-
before Bitcoin.
Chipotle.
no, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
think about it. If I go back to kindergarten, not only am I a super kid wonder genius, you know, I can also invest in Bitcoin for $3 and get 5,000 of them when I'm like 7 years old. And then when I grow up, it's like, oh, you remember that kid genius that was on the Ellen show 10 years ago?
I just like
He's a
have
multi-trillionaire through Bitcoin. Let's get him back on.
this mental
Roll the
image-
clip.
He wants a 2 for Ellen as a kid, as an adult. You greedy motherfucker.
I have this mental image of you with like, you know, at Halloween you'd always get that UNICEF box like with the quarters, and you dump it out and like investing it in Bitcoin.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What are you talking
Yeah.
You
about?
never
This
heard
is a
about
whole
UNICEF?
topic in
Oh
itself.
my gosh, it's
Yeah.
like a charity when you're a kid, and it's like, you know, like the little animal cracker sized boxes.
Yeah,
You never got those in school?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I've got
you would
those.
take that around while you were trick or treating, and you'd be like, "Hey, do you want to donate?" And people
Oh
would be
no,
like,
we definitely didn't do that.
No, we didn't get
No?
money
Oh.
for trick
No,
or
I
treating.
mean,
And
I
then
got
you
like
don't need a
Reese's and
well,
Kit Kats. I didn't
yeah.
get no quarters. If I got quarters, I was pocketing them mugs.
Yeah.
I remember there was a house kind of close to mine growing up. They used to give out pennies
Yeah.
for
"What a
Halloween.
shitty
Just
treat."
1 penny.
Just 1 penny per kid, and
awful.
it was like, all
It's
right,
absolutely
like,
They probably like went to the bank and got the rolls. They're like, "All
Yeah.
right, Judith, we need."
give me $5 in pennies.
It's fair.
It's a big year on Halloween this
Well,
year.
we were handing out candy this Halloween, and candy was running low, so the decision was made just to pour like $3 worth of change into the bin of candy, and kids loved it. I'm pretty sure it was stolen by like 2 kids. They like came and took all of it because
Well,
you couldn't hear it. But.
So the house that was giving out pennies, do you remember 7th Avenue School going over?
No, I don't remember.
No, I'm saying,
that. Yeah,
like, do you know which way
Something
north
was
is
big.
from there?
Yeah.
Okay, the northeast kitty corner house that used to be covered in bushes.
by Kevin Coates. That's a
Yeah,
whoops.
I'll-
Edit that out.
I'll bleep that out, but
Yeah.
yeah, right by his house.
Yeah.
It was covered in shrubs. Nobody would ever want to go there because one, it looked creepy as fuck because you
It
could
did.
barely see the front door.
It was pretty creepy. Yeah.
It was like the shrubs were literally covering the whole house. It
There
looked
was
like.
a lot of growth.
Yeah.
So what did they hand out? For
They
Halloween?
were the guys giving
oh,
out
that
pennies.
was the penny
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, there was that corner by, well, it's like kind of by Little Joe's, but like 6th Avenue and
Where the guy would scare you.
Well, there was that, but then like the one nearest to Plainfield, he would give out full-size candy bars. That dude,
Ooh, baller.
that dude was balling. I loved it.
Dude, that dude hit up Sam's Club a few months early.
Ooh, you know he did. He's not trying to pay like $30 for a rack of Snickers. 30
A
rack.
of Snickers.
I was listening to a podcast. It was like a gaming podcast, and the guy, so you know Destiny 2 the game,
Hmm.
like they were literally giving that game out for free at Best Buy if you bought anything in the store. They would just hand you a copy.
If you're buying like even a $2 battery,
Yeah.
why
like,
didn't I know about that?
Well, because I like Destiny 2 is basically free now for the base game because now they have
Mm.
expansions that you have to buy to like be caught up.
Yeah.
And this guy had like 4 of them, and he's like, yeah, so I took my son out trick or treating, and I just like left the bin there, and I left 4 copies of Destiny 4 there, and then I tweeted about it because I thought it was funny, and then when I came back, they were all gone, and all that was in the thing was just the Whoppers, because I guess nobody wanted the Whoppers.
They brought Whoppers too?
No. Like he had candy in there mixed with Destiny 4, Destiny 2
Could you
copies.
imagine getting just a
hamburger?
cheeseburger?
No.
Dude,
Yeah.
a Whopper Junior on a Halloween
talking
would
about the
make
candy.
my night.
So
Oh my god, because then it would be like, oh, I actually have dinner. Because we'd always eat pizza on Halloween, but
Yeah, that's
just
true.
coming home with like a fucking bag full of Whoppers, be like, Mom, they're giving them out.
And be like, yeah, that's going straight in the garbage because those are contaminated.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that was so gross.
He said he came home and all the copies of Destiny 2 were gone, and he has a Ring doorbell, so he's like, all right, I gotta play this back and see like what kids took it. He said one dude parked it, like must have seen his tweet and knows where he lives, and parked his car on the street. He said it was like a teenager. Put like his hat down over his eyes because he knows, like, he listens to their podcast because he always talks about his Ring doorbell.
Oh shit.
And so he put like his hat down, just walked up to the step, just picked up all the copies and left. Didn't even take any candy.
But like, you couldn't
All
even...
of them.
Yeah.
Rude.
What is
It's
a
just
rude boy?
hilarious. It's like he didn't want those copies of Destiny 2. Nobody wanted
Well,
them.
that's what I was gonna say. If it's free, what does that guy? Does he think he's gonna sell them for like $5 or something? Maybe.
I have no idea. Well,
no.
no.
I'll give it to him. Capitalist America.
Another thing that he said, he's like, I looked up the trade-in value for Destiny 2 on GameStop, and it was like 60 cents. So he's like, what is that guy gaining out of this? Nothing.
He could buy a Whopper Junior after that.
Oh, a junior Whopper, not the full Whopper.
Not the full Whopper.
So where would you go, Alyse, back in time?
Like right when Bitcoin was super cheap.
I would go like before Bitcoin was a thing.
Yeah, but then you'd have to develop it.
Yeah,
and-
but you got to think of Ellen. That's what it all comes down to.
You gotta think about
How
it.
many times in one life can somebody go on Ellen without being a celebrity?
So you don't want to be a celebrity? Are you gonna be like a Banksy
I'm just
style
gonna-
guy?
I'm
You're
just
gonna be
gonna-
wearing a mask at
I'm
all
just
To
gonna
times.
Banksy Elon Musk.
Yeah, you're a Banksy Elon Musk hybrid.
I don't know, man. I'll just be an investor. I'll be on Shark Tank too.
You're gonna
As
be
the
like
investor
I'll be a
or
shark.
the
you're gonna be
Yeah.
like a child shark,
I'll
baby
be a
shark.
yeah, baby
doo-doo,
shark, doo-doo.
doo-doo. And we have our pen and baby shark. Dude, you could make that video popular
oh my
before.
God. You'd
you
be
could-
rolling in the iTunes.
Well, think about it. Imagine,
coins.
True.
imagine getting on YouTube the day it starts too. Just upload a video to YouTube the day YouTube launches.
Why don't you just have the idea for YouTube? Just be like,
Because-
hey, I got this
yeah.
idea.
I got
They're
this idea, and then the fucking
those
Winklevoss twins
laugh you
will
out of
come in
town.
and steal my idea.
I'm 6'4", 230 pounds, and there's two of me. It's like my favorite douchey line of that movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But yeah, there's so much you could do.
That's
if you
true.
Go back in time.
I'm like, I was thinking just for my own life, it's like, yeah, I don't want to go back before. I don't want to be a little kid. That sounds miserable. Like, gotta be at least a tween. I gotta be angsty. Go back and relieve that angst with my mature mind. Treat my parents with more respect. Put my phone on silent at the appropriate times. Do things that I still don't do that. Never mind. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to when The Dark Knight was in theaters again and just watch it like 50 times in theaters.
I did see that like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
in
that
theater.
was
one time I saw it.
cool.
One time I saw it was at the IMAX at Navy Pier, and
Oh,
that
nice.
screen
That'd
is
have been cool.
massive, really cool.
The only time I went there, I remember it was for, what was that, like, youth group thing?
Oh, I went there then too.
Yeah.
I think that's the time I saw it there.
Well, when I went, maybe that was the year after when I went.
It was like 7 to 7.
7
thing?
to 7, yeah, you're up all night. And you're
Yeah.
just, like, doing stuff in downtown Chicago. It was, instead of having a cool movie, I remember they're like, oh, we think you guys are going to like this. And then it was the U2 3D movie.
That
And
sounds
I was
awful.
immediately like, I'm leaving
I
this
definitely was
theater.
not there that time. The year I went there was when they had
Oh,
The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Damn, I'm jealous. I just hung out in a McDonald's instead of watching U2. 'Cause
That's
I
probably what I would have done.
did
too.
not like U2 at that time. I respect them now, but at the time I was like, these bands sucks.
At that
Bono
point, they
sucks.
hadn't infiltrated your iPhone. Oh,
True. They haven't brainwashed us yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
but now if you had to go back into a time that's not during our lifetime, where would you go?
I still haven't even. If it was
I'm
during my life, let me
struggling with
think. I would
this.
go back to. I'd go back to 7th grade. Give middle school fresh start. Be the cool guy.
Hey,
Nah,
Sparks,
that wouldn't work.
there's a fresh pot in there.
There
Yeah.
is, yeah.
I don't know if there's any left. Did you take it all?
I might have taken the last of it.
Did you take the last?
It's that Colombian roast Folgers though. It's pretty tasty. Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Fresh Pots with Troy and Joel. Today our guest is Folgers.
Yeah.
Not-
Folgers
not
Colombian
Alyse.
roast.
No.
Yeah, you're not drinking coffee.
It's past noon, so.
That's the perfect time for job.
It's a perfect time for your water.
I do just want to say, I like that your topics are always like, hey, you're in this scenario, what are you going to do? And then mine's just like some very mundane thing, like, let's all learn about...
Like, and stay tuned for next week when I talk about which Ninja Turtle you'd want to be.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Oh. Dude, anyone that says Raphael, watch out for them. They're feeling a little weird.
I mean, I personally like Raphael the best.
Oh, shit.
But...
Dude, we got to watch out for you.
And I could never be a Leo because I'm not a leader.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
very much a follower.
Yeah, I think
When I was a kid, I always thought Raphael was the leader. That was not the case.
he just goes off on his... He does the exact opposite
He's a wild
of leading.
card,
He's
bitches.
a wild card. He will bail on the group to do his own personal shit.
Back on topic.
Okay,
Troy,
so
where would
7th
you
grade.
go?
7th grade, go back, perfect my jumper, and become an NBA All-Pro.
NBA prodigy?
Yeah. No, I'd be in all of history.
In all time.
Shit, maybe I'd go back to like. Maybe I don't know. Go back to like roaring 20s. Become a.
You're on that Great Gatsby shit.
Yeah, just get on my Great Gatsby shit. Maybe like. Nah, maybe I need to go back farther. Fuck it, 1820s. I'm going
You
back
got
to
the
like.
outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe just become a bartender at a saloon.
I feel like that.
That's gonna be the thumbnail for this video.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah, just like become a fucking gold rush guy. Just like fucking die of dysentery at age like 18.
No, yeah, that's
Pan
the
for
thing about
gold.
going back that far is scary because like
Yeah.
you could literally be riding your horse. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. You could literally be riding your horse and somebody will just come up and shoot you for no reason, and then like they like just get away with it because they hide your ass in a river.
I could also go up and shoot people in the face for no reason. That
True,
sounds
but-
exhilarating.
but
I don't
then
think
that-
I'd like that
But
at
then
all.
there's a target on your head.
Ooh, yeah, I don't want a bounty. Can I go to the future, or do I have to go back in time?
Yeah, let's say the future too.
I'll go to fucking like Star Wars.
Like 1300, the year 1300 sound good?
No. Fuck. If I'm doing that, take me back to like Jesus time.
Jesus.
Take me back to 0.
All right.
I mean,
you're on Jesus time now.
because we all know Jesus is white. So I'm gonna let my beard grow out. I'm gonna let my beard and my hair grow out and go back and try and do a little switcheroo and just be like, I'm Jesus, and then just like, but then I would do like cool shit. Like he was like
But
healing.
would you want to be called Jesus or would you want to be called Troy?
Or
Oh,
Troy's
I don't want. Yeah, I wouldn't want Troy.
Troy's.
No, I had a city, so I don't need Jesus to also be.
True.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
the city's good. Maybe I'll go back and see if the city was a real thing, because they're like, no, the city's real. I want to go back and beat the shit out of Orlando Bloom for being such a bitch in that movie.
But what about like if you go in the future? Like how far do you think is too far to where when you go there you're just floating in space and die?
It's probably like 200 years.
You think 200 years from now?
No, not seriously, but like, I'm scared of what will be in like 200 years. I think there's a good chance
yeah.
we're gonna be like,
I just
planet's
wanna-
gonna be pretty fucked up.
I want to skip Trump's presidency.
I'll just go 2 more years.
2020.
into the-
2020?
I'm good
2020.
with that.
And then
Oh,
yeah,
well,
you
no. What if he's-
you use
What
your
if
one
Go back and
time.
he's reelected.
Yeah, you use your one turn to go like, all right,
Fuck, I'm
I'll
stuck
jump.
again.
I'll jump forward 2 years, and then you just like, and the next president of the United States is still Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
President re-elect Trump
Dude, that's-
actually builds the wall.
That's when you don't go, and then you don't want to go to 2024. You might miss Kanye's
I
presidency.
know. That's
wanna
going
miss
to be a
that.
wild time.
Yeah, Kim
It's
K
like,
in
would
the
you
White
rather
House.
would you rather suffer now and then wait? You could wait till 2020, see if he gets reelected, and then fast forward to 24 when Kanye's either going to be president in 2020 or 2024. Let's face
I
it.
honestly don't think he will be, but I think he's gonna run.
I definitely think he's going to run just for the publicity.
Dude, I think he's like, because he's like, oh, Trump's my hero. He
But then
inspires
he's
me.
like,
I'm like,
I'm getting out of politics, and then he like just donated a bunch to that new mayoral candidate for Chicago.
did he?
Yeah.
Which one? Not
Maybe
Pritzker, the
not.
other guy?
Not Rauner.
Maybe it wasn't mayoral.
Go
I heard he's
Biernal.
Anita.
Go Biernal.
Um,
Mieda.
it starts with an A.
Mieda.
But yeah, if I go in the future, I feel like just going 100 years
Yeah.
would be a safe bet because then you know the Earth's still here. I would find my great grandchildren and be like, "Yo, I'm
Oh
your
wait,
grand."
100 years. How long? How many greats are on that?
There's a lot of greats.
You're gonna be
Trust me.
produced. You need to get to baby making. Yeah, you're gonna make a kid before you go on this
bar
trip.
cart.
Yeah, who's that? Someone buy a sex swing. Need a baby. So, just exclaiming that to the street as he buys a sex swing.
But yeah, 100 years. But then the thing is, what if you go in the future and you're like, I'm your great-great-grandfather, and they're like, I don't fucking believe you, get out of here. And then you have no way to sustain life. Like, you're just a homeless man in the year 2112 or some shit.
You know all our jobs are going to be obsolete by then.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, it's going to be the wild, wild future West where people could shoot you in the face with no repercussions.
It's like a disintegration gun.
Yeah, I don't believe you. They just disintegrate you.
Yeah.
No evidence.
Well, yeah, you don't want to, like, I don't know. You could bring your birth certificate. Bring all the identifiers that you would need to prove it.
Before I go into the future, I, like, go take a bunch of DNA tests, have somebody store it, and be like, yo, I'll see you in fucking 100 years.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Write a note, make a video.
Dude, you could make it like a whole thing, like worldwide. Like, I'm gonna time travel. Y'all see me in 100 years. I'm gonna look exactly the same, and you make like a big public like thing about it. But then you have to like make sure people don't think it's fake. But that would actually be really. I'd like that idea.
But then people would forget about it after a year.
True.
Literally after a year, nobody would give a fuck about the guy who made a YouTube video saying he was time traveling.
Because then time traveling will somehow become like very, very easy. Like at that point, so everyone will be doing it. Like you're gonna make this huge thing, and then like 6 months later, like Elon Musk is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we can all time travel now." And then everyone's gonna be like, "What a fucking idiot!"
Yeah, what an idiot.
Dude's in like fucking limbo for 100 years.
Yeah.
But it would be instantaneous for you. That's the interesting part of like.
You'd be the first.
Yeah, you'd be the first. You'd be like the
Pioneer.
Beatles of.
The Neil Armstrong of.
Yeah, that's better. That's much better than the Beatles. You'd be the Neil Young.
The Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
What about you, Alyse? Where would you go? Is really after Trump's administration, is it really hurting you that bad that you want to go 4 years into the future?
Like
Mentally
after he got
taxing.
elected, I didn't go to work the next day. I just laid in bed.
But like that's kind of dramatic.
I know.
He only has so much
Have you
power.
met me?
He's not like fucking coming into your house and telling you to wake up 10 minutes before you have to.
That son of a bitch.
What? Yeah, can you imagine that? What if he?
I need you to wake up right now.
Is this the part of the podcast where we all do our Trump
Yeah,
impressions?
is that Donald Trump or is that my girlfriend? I can't tell.
This sounds like a blue collar comedy tour joke. Is that Donald Trump or is that my girlfriend?
Yeah, it's just a tweet. Just read a tweet.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I don't know.
You know, you're Donald Trump when you go into people's bedrooms and ask them to get up 10 minutes early. Oh.
Yeah, he's not asking you to wake up 5 minutes before your alarm goes off.
I wish I had that power.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd
That's
actually
gonna be a thing pretty soon.
It'd be pretty cool if Donald Trump had the power to wake everyone up 5 minutes before they had set their alarm. I think his approval ratings would go up.
I think they'd go down.
I think they'd
even
go
worse.
up. Really? I think when you wake up before your alarm, that makes my day start so good. Because then I'm just like,
It's the opposite
sick.
for me.
Really? Because I'm just like, fuck yeah, I woke up early. I get
No,
5
I'm
more
like,
minutes.
I have 5 more minutes. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. But you're like,
No, but with her, she wakes up and then she'll go back to sleep past her alarm.
oh, you'll sleep through the alarm.
This is a daily thing because I wake up before her and it wakes her up, and I come back in and her alarm's going off. I'm like, yo, get the fuck up, and then she's just like, 10 more minutes.
So you're the Donald Trump in this scenario.
And I'm like,
this is my nightmare.
and I'm just like, and like she'll set an alarm for like 6 a.m. and she'll tell me the night before, like, all right, make sure I get up because I have to shower in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I'll wake her up and she'll be like, 30 more minutes.
30,
And then she
you
just-
skip 5, 10,
Yeah.
15, 30 more.
Yeah,
Damn.
it just doesn't make sense.
Respect
And I'm
it.
just like, all right, I'm going to work. I'll see you later.
Okay, so this is an interesting question I want to ask. What's your guys' take on showering in the morning or at night?
Well, there's 4 adults that live here that all leave for work around the same time. That's why I shower at night.
Yeah, no, that's...
For
see
me, it's like a hair thing. You've seen my hair in the morning. There's no taming that. Like, no joke. My hair will be wild, and I'd have... Like, if I wake up in the morning and I have to leave, like, and it's not a work day, I just put on a hat.
Yeah.
But I absolutely cannot leave for work without showering because my hair will be terrible.
Yeah, I do wear a hat to work, so that helps. But some days the hair's alright in the morning. I can just comb it, and I'm like, oh, this looks better than after a shower.
Like if I comb it, it'll just be like super poofy and like still have like weird shit going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm 100% a morning shower person.
I enjoy the morning shower. I also I need it to wake up, or else I just feel like weird the whole day. But showering at night is like very relaxing. So I don't know. Seems like a lot of girls shower at night.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
The
think
hair,
it's
it's
also
the long
it's a
hair
hair
thing,
drying
the long
thing.
hair
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Because, like, my hair's so thick and so long, it just, like, takes forever to dry.
Yeah, it's fair.
All right, well I think that ends the hair drying topic of the week.
I feel like
That's what I'm bringing to the table.
I feel like, okay, if I was really gonna go back in time, like truly, I think I'd go back to when Manland. I'd go back to Neil Armstrong. Like that seems like it would be a really cool thing to like watch happen.
Was that, like, late 70s?
I think that was 69.
69.
69
Yeah,
or
it's
60.
1969.
69, yeah.
What's
And
the,
also
what's
then
the
I get
song
to
from Even
experience.
Stevens
That's
movie?
what I was just singing.
What? How does it go?
Wait, that's how
We
you guys
went
know when the
to
moon landing was?
moon In 19...
69.
But it could be 50.
It's 69.
No, it's 60s
69.
for sure. 69 that ends in 9. Yeah, 69.
Yeah.
I'd do that because then I'd get to experience like maybe my favorite like decade of music too,
Yeah.
the 70s and like early 80s. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Like imagine we just saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Imagine seeing
Oh, so
Queen
good.
live,
Shameless plug.
or seeing like
Shameless
Pink
plug.
Floyd. Why is that shameless?
I don't know. It's
Why
not.
is that a
And
plug?
Shameless is on
Everyone
9
should go
p.m.
see it.
9 p.m. Central Showtime Sundays.
It's a shameless
When's
plug
Shameless
because everybody can go see it in theaters now.
Yeah.
You're acting like we
Ah.
saw it exclusively
No.
before it came. Although they did have
There's
exclusive viewings yesterday of the new Fantastic Beasts movie.
Yeah.
A lot of
I didn't-
see it.
cloaked people.
Yeah, a lot of people wearing Harry Potter gear.
Again, I could have been a Harry Potter person for Halloween. But
I'd like to relive the Harry Potter hype.
that'd be
that'd be
fun as
cool.
like an adult.
Yeah.
Would you be back in your child body for that or this body?
Probably adult.
Yeah.
But what
That's
if you went back in time and you just turned out to be some sort of man baby?
You went back in time and like
Like-
hairy baby?
Like say I went back to kindergarten and I was just super hairy. Like I had a beard.
That'd be
I
cool.
was-
You
I
would
was a little
definitely get on
kid.
Alan. Dude.
I-
You get on Alan real quick.
Dude, I'd be the wolf baby.
$50,000 for you to go figure that out.
Yeah.
Ellen,
And-
Ellen just doesn't even have you on. Just gives you money. It's like you need a wax. And it's
Don't
just-
even come on my
And
show.
here's a
dances at you.
$50,000 Shutterfly check for you to go get
What's all this,
facial reconstruction.
What's all this
surgery.
Shutterfly talk? What's this?
Well,
That's just who like
it's like-
sponsors all of her big checks.
Shutterfly's like a
Oh.
website that like prints your pictures and like will make you like a picture book, and like it's just like one of her main sponsors. So every time she's like, "Well, Shutterfly gave us a $10,000 check for you," or like, what's another one? It's like, is Lowe's one
Lowe's.
like the
Ellen loves
store?
doing handiwork.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, Troy, what's your topic?
Why don't you guys try and guess what my topic is?
No, you did this
God,
before and it worked terribly.
I-
Nobody could guess it.
Well, yeah. I just want. All right.
You got to give us 3 hints.
All right. There's a lot of W's.
The internet.
George.
Those are both fucking great guesses. I like both those. Now I have the work week versus like weekend. When like the weekend became a thing, because
Okay.
it used to be like factories would work like 7 days a week. People would like basically be working like
Every
80
day.
hours, like every day for like 12 hours in factories and stuff.
So is this like industrial revolution time we're talking about?
I'm going back to like even when a week, like the idea of a week being a
Be-
thing,
became-
like a thing, but apparently
Well,
This is
doesn't
all
that, doesn't
very-
that date
Like,
way back to like
naming the
astronomical
days,
times?
yeah.
Like,
they go like apparently the 7-day week goes back to like Babylon.
yeah.
Like, because they believe because they believe that I think they could only see 7 planets, or what they thought were planets. Maybe some of them were like stars, but nah, maybe they were planets. Guys, I know these topics like the back of my hand. Nah, they believed in 7 planets, and the number 7, I guess, was important to them. So they're like, we're gonna make our week revolve around the number 7. I was like, dope. And then Rome had 8-day week, and every 8 days was like the big market day, where they'd be like, all right,
Go
everyone
shopping and stuff.
Like all the people would sell all their foods and stuff. And that was called like Nindina, something like that.
All right.
And then the French calendar, the French Revolutionary calendar, had 10-day weeks, and the 10th day was like rest day, where they're like, all right, y'all earned this. We all beheaded like 50,000 people this week, so everyone get a day off.
We sacrificed 14 virgins.
Yes. The
It was
French.
a good week.
That was a good
good
week.
week.
Good week. 14 virgins gone. That's all.
It sounds like a terrible horror movie. 14 Virgins.
Yeah. Which reminds me, if we're gonna do shameless plugs, might as well bring this up. Did you guys see Happy Death Day?
No, I have no
Yeah.
idea what that is.
I remember that coming out. I wanted to watch it, but I never did. They're making a second one, and it's like Groundhog Day, but with like a killer.
I saw the trailer for that. It
Yeah.
looked kind of cool.
And then like the first one ends, and now there's another one. And it's like the same thing. I'm just like, God damn, they're really milking that idea.
Well, it's like they're coming out with, what was that one movie with the guy, and he had the girls trapped in his basement, Split.
Oh,
Split, yeah.
They're
yes.
making a second
Yeah,
one of that.
No, yeah,
Mhm.
Troy watched Split with us.
I did.
What's the
good.
new one called? Glass.
Two?
Glass.
Glass.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Split
two?
two.
Well, no, it's a trilogy.
Even more Split.
Oh, is it? Is it
Yeah.
a book?
So at first there was, what was that movie?
It
With
was
Bruce Willis?
Invincible.
Invincible?
No, that's the one with Mark Wahlberg as an eagle.
I never saw
Not like
that
as a
one.
bird eagle, as like the football player eagle.
Oh, I thought you were
That's
talking
what-
as
that
a
was
bird.
Mark Wahlberg when he played an animated bird.
Hold on, let me see.
Indestructible.
Oh, Unbreakable. It was
Unbreakable.
So the first movie was Unbreakable, and that was like in the early thousands or mid thousands.
I'm
And
like
that-
Shyamalan.
Well, no, and then he made Split, but people didn't know it was part of a trilogy until like the post credits scene in that movie. So it was like the M Night Shyamalan twist within a twist,
Yes.
and then they like showed at the end they showed the
Well,
Glass.
yeah, it set it up for.
And now Glass is coming out. I think
Soon.
January 18th, 2019.
Yeah, it seemed really quick, but I'm so glad I saw that trailer because I was like, I thought they were gonna like wait a while, but it seems like it's happening pretty quick.
Yeah, I never
That-
saw Unbreakable, so I
I
want to
didn't
see
either.
that.
We should
Yeah.
watch that after we watch entire seasons of shows that we've discussed. We need to watch.
Yeah.
But dude, I do want to see that. Okay. Excuse me.
Anyway, back to the work week.
Back to work week and weekend. So I guess in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So it took a while before like the Industrial Revolution happened, but like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, the idea of the weekend was like more prominent.
Yeah,
And
'cause all the madmen were just like sitting in their ad agencies, like, oh, I can't wait to get back to my wife.
yeah,
With all
exactly.
these secretaries around.
We need to think of a time where we can not get hammered drunk,
Yeah.
like in a socially
Chain smoke.
and chain smoke in a socially acceptable place outside of
You
work.
peeking.
Sorry,
How's the fantasy team doing?
I wasn't
Well, no,
allowed to have
I'm
my
looking up stuff.
laptop, so
Yeah, sorry.
There's no room.
There's
Yeah,
no
where's the
room.
cactus
Yeah,
gonna
what are you
go?
gonna do? What are you gonna do with my little cactus?
it's a succulent.
I was looking up some other stuff
Looks
related
so
to this
succulent.
topic. So
So sexy. That's a sexy plant right there.
Did
Okay.
you, did you go into researching like how they named the days?
No,
No.
that would have been a smart thing to look up, but I did not do that.
Well, I think a lot of it goes back to like Latin stuff.
like
Fair,
the
let's see.
Mayans, because the Mayans know when the world's gonna end. You
True,
know
they
that,
were
right?
right.
They
Well,
were-
they
they were
predicted
right.
like 7 times already.
Well, this is purgatory.
Ooh, is this like
That's
a
why
lost?
Trump's president.
You heard it here first.
Wait, no, that'd be hell, am I right? Alright, let's see. They're named after the Norse, Germanic, and Roman gods. The Moon's Day. Monday.
Monday.
The
Ooh.
Tuesday.
Toon-
Tuesday.
Tooties and loonies.
The Woonsday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Woonsday.
Thunes Day. Nick Thune invented that one. And he's ageless. No, but then, like, oh, wait. Lunas Day? Oh, God. What even website am I on? I feel like I'm on the
Well,
BuzzFeed
I mean,
for week names.
No, Lunas Day, because in Spanish, Lunas
Lunar.
means Sunday.
Okay, that is Moon's Day. So Monday is like Moon's Day. Like in Spanish, Lunas, Moon's Day. Okay, interesting.
So yeah, it
Um,
does go back to Latin.
Then,
That was right.
and then Mars Day. God of War? Wait.
God of War.
Boy.
God of War!
Boy.
Did you know Mercury was the god of communication? It's like, seems like a weird one to have. Like, I am
Communication.
the
Somebody's
god
gotta
of
do it.
communication.
Talk to me.
Yeah, like, and then the internet came out and just beat his ass to death. Mercury no longer exists. This is a lot of like, I feel like they're not giving me an equal sign and then the English day.
You're
So
also on Quora. Isn't that like
I don't know what that is. Is that bad?
Yeah,
like Snopes or whatever?
I think it's the equivalent
That's
to
the-
Yahoo
you-
Answers.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I fucking love Yahoo Answers.
So I said what?
It's really
Well,
fun.
Remember Ask Jeeves?
Yes.
Oh, that was
All right,
it.
hold
Or
on.
Yahooligans.
My topic for next time is we're just gonna look up funny Yahoo Answers questions.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Okay, I found the equal sign chart that I needed because I'm an idiot. But Soul's Day, Sunday, Soul, Sun. It seems to be a lot of like,
Prefixes.
yeah,
and
well, like
stuff.
Soul in Spanish, I believe, is sun. Yeah, so Luna's Day, Moon Day, Mars Day, and then it was renamed after the Germanic god of war, 2.
God of War 2, the game.
Exactly. I was just like, this is ridiculous. It was God of War 2 when you get the bigger sword. Mercury's Day became Woden's Day, and that's because they are both guides. Woden and Mercury, guides of the souls and afterlives, and they love poetry. Poetic.
Sick.
Sick, indeed. Oh, Thor's Day. Love Thor's Day. Thor's my favorite Avenger, so I'm a big fan of
Interesting
Thursday.
choice.
Thursdays are pretty cool too. I usually have a good Thursday. You know, Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays suck.
Also, I think it's funny that Friday came from Frigg's Day. Frigg.
What is a frig?
Freya and Frigg were the same goddess at one point. Also Venus. I don't know. Which one's Venus? God of Love?
Oh, that's the Williams sister.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, true. Freya and Frigg are Venus and Serena. It's like a real Romulus Remus type scenario here. Saturn's Day literally just became Saturday. Pretty close. Well, that was great.
I'm glad we went down that
Glad
path.
we went down. That led to a lot of fruitful discussion. But no, so yeah, idea of the weekend became a thing. So I guess anything longer than 48 hours is now considered an excessive work week, and like, I guess almost 600 million people are working over 48 hours.
It's a
a
large
week.
number.
That is.
Surprising.
That is. Like,
Well,
that's not just in America, though. I believe that is worldwide. So
that's
it's like
been-
a tenth of the population.
that's been a big topic in like the video game industry lately too.
Mm.
Is because like video game companies are like working their employees like to death like crazy. Like for Red Dead Redemption 2, there's an article that came out saying that some employees were working 100 hours a week
Ugh.
just to get that game ready to launch. And then like it just got really controversial because people were like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, why would you say that? And
Sure.
then like somebody came out and did like interviews with a bunch of current employees and ex-employees. Like some of them wanted to stay anonymous so that they wouldn't lose their jobs or whatnot. And like it was just like all around the board, people like some people were like, yeah, like I'm working long hours, but I'm doing it willingly. And some people were like, no, like my boss told me I have to be here like to get this shit done.
Dude, that's like, and they probably are they if you're salaried, you get like
Well,
no
no,
overtime.
and that's another thing is some of those people are like contractors.
Yeah.
So like they're just there like just to make money, like
Yeah.
they're not salaried or anything, and they're working overtime and not getting paid for it.
Oh, dude. That,
But like-
yeah.
But like at the time, that's their only form of income, and they all live in like San Francisco. So it's like, what are they supposed to do?
I wonder if they're gonna do like a civil class action like lawsuit or something.
Well, that happened. Telltale Games, right? Like
they're the ones
make
that do like the adventure like cartoon
Yeah,
comic
yeah.
games. Yeah.
yeah, they shut down recently,
Hmm.
and they fired their whole staff without warning. Like just they all came in on a Friday, and they all had to leave by 10 a.m.
Oh, like all the full-time employees.
Yeah, all of them. They fired 225 people, and they kept 25 people on staff to finish some other game, who have since been fired already.
Jesus.
But they just fired everybody without warning, and there's a lawsuit starting because like this California state law says that they have to like give them a 60-day warning if they're firing more than like 100 people. So I don't know. It's just really fucked up. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of people just to fire out of the blue.
well, no, I've heard of that becoming a huge issue with gaming because like deadlines and
Yeah.
like the amount of bugs that are being like, I don't know, like Fallout 76 probably. That's just the newest, biggest game, but like doing a stress test and thing like that, like
It helps.
like
for
you
sure.
think you're getting the game like close to being done, and then you just like you could hit some major setback, and then all of a sudden it's like you can't like you can't go home. You gotta finish this because it's supposed to be out in a week. It's like,
But
scary stuff.
a lot of times those game developers, they get like 2 months of a break after a game comes out. Like as soon as everything's like smooth,
Yeah,
they just fucking leave, do whatever you want for 2 months.
that's nice.
But
It's
yeah,
like,
but at what cost? Like,
yeah.
but then again,
Like a
there's
sabbatical.
but then again,
like
there are
short
people who
term.
are working like 80 hours a week just because they love their job and like they're super passionate. And it's like also
True.
controversial because like somebody made the argument like, imagine writing a poem and then like you can't just like hand it to somebody else to finish that poem. Like when they're coding a game,
Yeah,
like because then it's gonna come out all botched.
it
like,
is, dude. Because it comes down to like, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
like how their personal
Like
preferences
if you
for
start like
delimiters and
say you
things.
start coding like a quest line in a game, like you want to finish that quest line, you don't want to hand it off, and somebody just take it a completely different way. It'd make no sense.
Well, especially if they don't code exactly the same. Because from what I understand of coding, you're able to like
Yeah.
there's up to interpretation of like where you can put spaces, how many spaces, like certain symbols can
Yeah,
be used
and
like interchangeably.
If
but
somebody
like,
else
if you
messes
change
that
it,
up, then it could like glitch the whole game almost.
Yeah, that's like that brings me up to like one of my favorite glitches. But apparently, I remember when Fallout, I think New Vegas came out. If you weren't wearing a very specific hat at one point, the game would just like implode. Like everything would just break. Like if you got to a certain conversation, and you weren't wearing like a cowboy hat, the game would just like freak out and just like get corrupted. And they're like, we don't know why this is happening.
One more comment about games because I know Alyse is very bored.
Okay.
There's a glitch right now in Red Dead Redemption 2. There's like an invisible line in the road that's fire, and anything that runs through it like just engulfs in flames.
I
And
love
so,
that.
and so if you find that it's like in a very specific location, so if you just
That's
stand there
amazing.
and wait for people to cross it, they just burst into flames and die.
That sounds like, dude, there has to be a Twitch stream 24/7 of
Just
someone
on
doing
it.
that constantly.
If not,
on
I
that.
should start that.
Yeah,
That'd be
start-
hilarious.
Just be a line of fire,
Yeah.
like some shit like that. It'd be perfect.
It'd be great.
That would be fun. I love video games so much. I'm like, it's weird to think I took like years from playing them, like years off, and then it's like, so I'm kind of going back and beating all the old games, but
Well, I mean, it comes in bursts though. Like
true.
there's sometimes when I just get bored of playing them.
Yeah.
Alyse doesn't think so.
All right.
Hey, I've been fully fledged on video games for a while now, but there are times when I'm just like, I don't want to play anything, and it's usually like February to March,
see, that blows my mind.
because that's when games like don't come out, new games don't come out.
That's like, but when it's cold and like snowy outside, that's when I'm like, oh, I can like, socially acceptable for me to play like 8 straight hours of Elder Scrolls. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I just play 8 straight hours regardless.
Even on them sunny days.
Alright.
Sunny day is actually that's how Sunday got its name.
Yeah.
But no, so back to the hard-hitting stuff that Alyse is very much interested in. Henry Ford, classic
What a
car,
guy.
little classic man.
Classy man.
What a man. Guys, trivia, what was the original color
Man's
of
man.
the Model T?
It was black.
For sure, yes.
Was he like
But-
super racist? And
I
awful?
believe he was extremely racist, but that was the norm.
But either way, the manliest
The
man,
20s.
of course he created a fucking vehicle.
Yeah. I feel like he probably wasn't that manly. He's probably just like, yeah, get back to work. See? He's like smoking a cigar, being a douche. No, but I mean, he invented like the assembly line. Well, not the assembly line, but like the kind of like you only have one. The very specialized
Specialized, yeah.
assembly line. So he actually was like he kind of like led the way of like giving people a break. He shut down his factory 1 day a week, I believe, on Sundays.
So generous.
Yeah, so generous. I mean, dude, it's still insane to think that people were working like every
single
day for like 12 hours. Like, that is insane. Like, I kind of understand like why it's like, oh, you need to have like a wife and family. It's like, yeah, he's working like.
Well,
Comes
imagine
back and you're probably like fucking dead. Like 12
Imagine
hours of lifting heavy machine.
working 100 hours a week. That's like, it's a lot of hours.
It's like hard shit too. You're standing, lifting stuff.
That's like what, 9 hours a day every day of the week?
I mean, from what I understand, it was like they were working like 12-hour days, and
That's insane.
12 times 7 would come out to 96.
That was good math.
This is probably
I'm good
the
at
most millennial podcast ever. Just talking about like, oh man, I hope I never have to work 12 hours a day.
Dude,
Our parents, if our parents watch this, they just be like, that's not my child.
I know, right? My mom's probably just like, my grandpa, or my grandpa probably, I don't know. My mom would disown me, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom, this was for you. But I also just like, I'm really dumb. Especially about religious stuff. But I was just like, it was interesting, like, the Christian Sabbath. Like, whenever I heard Sabbath, I was like, oh, that's Saturday. Like, only Jewish people have a Sabbath, and that's Saturday. And I'm like, oh no, like, there's just two different, there's the Christian Sabbath and the Jewish Sabbath. Like, Christian Sabbath is Sunday. Obviously, that's like the day of rest. I don't even know if that's right. I'm just ignorant as fuck when it comes to religion. My mom was a Sunday school teacher, so like, you know, she's having
She's
a
really
ball.
coming for you.
She's really gonna come for me after this podcast, yeah. But okay, now I'm going back to my favorite part, the weekend. Like when the first like people started thinking about the weekend. So in like 1879 in Britain, they got off work on Saturdays at 2 p.m. It started.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that they could be refreshed for the next week, but then people just started using that time to get like super fucked up and gamble a bunch.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know. It's perfect. And then they started calling off on Mondays because they're like
Hungover.
getting hammered as shit. Yeah. So then they were like, oof, well, we gotta like start allowing them to leave early and give them Sunday off so that they like are refreshed for Monday. But it kind of backfired. But they called that Saint Monday. It was like the Monday when people would just start calling like a bunch of days off because they just get like fucked up. Classic British people. And then in America, there was the Amalgamated Clothing Workers of America Union, and in 1929 demanded a 5-day work week. So it's like
Yeah,
pretty
they were
recent.
treated like shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like 100 years ago. That like until then people were working like 7 days a week. And then also like Labor Day is a weird one because I guess Labor Day is like only union workers get off. Labor Day. Like I don't think I've ever had Labor Day off.
Really?
Yeah.
I get Labor Day off every year.
Yeah.
Really? Weird.
Maybe it's a corporate thing too, though.
Are you-
Because like
Could be.
if you have, I don't know. I mean, we always get Labor Day off. I always have at least.
I don't think I've ever.
Well, I
had
mean,
Labor Day
like,
off.
not when I
Schools
worked,
get it
like,
off.
retail or anything. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
retail's a whole nother thing, but...
Yeah, I never worked like full retail. I worked at a pizza place.
Dude, I worked at Meijer, and the only day they were closed every year was Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Really?
JCPenney, too. I was there on Easter. I was
It
there...
sucked, man.
Dude,
And like there were
New
times
Year's
when
Eve,
like
too?
Yeah,
Well,
New Year's Eve
no.
was a big one.
Christmas Eve, like my family celebrates Christmas on Christmas Eve, and I would tell them like, "Yo, if you put me on the schedule Christmas Eve, I'm just not gonna show up." And that happened multiple times.
I had to work JCPenney on Christmas Eve. I was late to Christmas Eve dinner. It was the worst Christmas ever.
Oh, that's the one I came to, right?
Yeah,
Wait,
maybe.
yeah, I think so.
I was so pissed.
I remember last year I showed up and I was fucking drunk from the Bears game.
At work?
No,
No,
to my Christmas Eve.
Her family.
celebration.
I was like, all right, you're going to hang out with your family. Me and the boys are going to the Bears game on Christmas Eve.
That sounds fun.
I showed up pretty drunk.
It was
I mean, I'm
fine.
sure your family was probably like.
They were
"It's
probably
just-
They
equally
were
as
just
drunk.
probably,
Joel."
yeah.
They're probably also drunk. Yeah, there you go. But the Great Depression also was like, yo, make a 5-day work week so that more people can have jobs because no one has jobs and America's booked right now. We're in a big old dust bowl.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that was like right around that
FDR.
time in like the 29s and 30s when people were just like, this makes sense like economically and also like socially, just like helps everyone. But I also found this hilarious. In 1965, the Senate, like a Senate subcommittee, was just like, dude, by 2020, people are only gonna have to work 14 hours a week, and we're gonna be like doing crazy space
The
stuff.
Senate said
yeah,
that?
the
It's like,
Senate.
you can press
committee.
everything with a button
Yeah.
and it'll
They're just like,
Jetson style.
and then in 1928, John Maynard Keynes wrote, he's like, technological advancements will make like, we will only have to work 15 hours a week and everything will be fantastic. And I just found that absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, but like, how much are you getting paid? Like, if you're working 15 hours a week, you know what I mean?
I don't know if they thought about it that much.
Yeah, like, I mean, like Joel's working 15 hours a week, which is great, but he lives in a fucking dumpster.
He lives in the dumpster in the shanty town. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's just living in Hoovervilles.
He lives in the slums underneath what used to be Chicago.
Yeah, dude. That's when we're all living in sewers and
Tunnels.
shit. Yeah, we've all gone underground because the 15-hour work week has created robots that rule over
Yeah.
Earth. This is the Matrix.
This is getting way too heavy.
No,
Those are going to
it's
be
just
the
the
times
Matrix.
when you're just, like, there's a curfew for everybody.
Oh yeah, right. Everyone only
So
works.
it's like, hey,
15
what are
hours-
you doing on the streets?
This is like a V for the Vendetta type scenario. Dude, that shit is always like crazy to me. Think when like the rules could get that insane.
Dude,
But there was curfews as recently I was thinking like World War II, there was curfews and shit.
Well, they
And,
do, what's it called? Like, they've done it on the south side. They've set curfews.
Really?
What's it called?
Is it during like a
Oh,
blackout?
the Purge.
No.
Yeah.
So the giant purge
That's
alarm.
That's a pretty good like thunderstorm alarm right there.
The purge alarm.
It ended on a high note.
Well, I know like when the Boston bombing happened during the marathon.
Yeah,
they,
like
they
in that
shut
sort of
that. They shut that
situation.
whole. They're like, yo, you cannot leave wherever you are.
Because
If-
this guy's
if-
still out there.
Like if you're on the street, like you're probably gonna get tackled by a SWAT team.
No fucking way.
And like I was
I
watching
didn't know
like
that.
I was watching like a documentary pretty recently about it on
Didn't
YouTube.
they catch that guy like laying in a boat?
Yeah, so like
Wait, they
No,
caught the guy
seriously.
from the Boston bombing
yeah,
just
yeah.
laying
well,
in a
well,
boat?
there were two guys from the Boston bombing. The first one, so like they like fled together. You know, they went on about their lives normally, and then once they found out that they knew about them, like who they were, they like tried to run. So they like hijacked some dude's car, and then they stopped for gas. And then the dude hopped out of the car and ran to another gas station and like locked the door behind him and told him to call the cops. Like somebody just stole my car. He didn't know who they were.
Oh yeah.
And then like the dude came up to
Nice.
get the guy and he's like, I think that's the guy that we saw on the news. So then they called and the cops came and they ran. They had like a shootout with the cops.
Really?
And then like the one brother got in the car at the end after all the cops were out of their car and like converging on him. Got in the car, ran over his brother, which killed him, and just fled.
In a
And-
cop car?
No, in his own
Oh,
in the
I
car
love
he
when
stole.
someone tries to steal cop cars.
And he got away. And then like a few days later, I think 2 days, 1 or 2 days later, somebody called the cops like, yo, I think somebody's in my boat, like in my driveway. And this is when the whole city, everything was shut down. They
What?
like they literally in the footage you just see like giant SWAT like tanks kind of looking things driving down the road. And like that's all. You don't see anybody else. Like, there's nobody outside.
Fuck.
Yeah,
And he
and,
was just-
and so the guy's like, yeah, I think somebody's in my truck. And they were like, are you outside? And he's like, yeah. They're like, go back inside your house. Like, we're coming there. And then they like got there. They were yelling at the boat, and then like they just lit up the boat. And then the dude was super bloody, and like he came out and like surrendered. Really messed up stuff,
Fuck,
man.
dude. I don't hear any of that. I'm so out of it with news. I never.
I mean, that was a number of years ago.
It was
I
like
know,
2014, like 4 years ago now.
But
Yeah.
like, I don't remember hearing any of that. I remember like, oh yeah, they caught him. That's about it.
Well, I'm sure like in Boston that was probably a huge fucking deal.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was a big deal. And I'm not Boston guy, but that's a huge deal, especially with like a marathon and like. I just remember that. I still have like I have the memory of the images from like the.
Well,
the screen.
another problem is they found out who the two guys were, but they didn't tell anybody because they didn't want them to like flee.
Yeah, which is
And,
smart. I thought
and then
that's
some
smart.
news outlet found out, and like they told them like, hey, don't release this information. They did it anyway because they're assholes. And then, also when they shut down the city, like we were talking about, they shut down the whole city, and then they made the decision. they made the decision to like let everybody do what they wanted, but they didn't inform the whole police staff yet. So people were just like outside, and the police were like trying to arrest them and shit.
Yeah.
Because like not everybody knew that they stopped like the shutdown.
Really.
But, yeah, crazy shit. But yeah, the fact they can just lock down a whole city and tell everybody not to leave is pretty insane.
It
It's
is
called something. It's called something law.
not like quarantine.
No.
Oh, bird law.
Yeah.
Bird
law. Yeah, let's look it up. I got a laptop here. Quarantine law. City quarantine. Let's see. But also then isolation statutes. I think quarantine's more related to just diseases. This is
Yeah.
probably something else. What would you think that would be called? Law like city curfew law?
Yeah, curfew law.
Let's see. City curfew law, juvenile curfews.
No. That's not what I want. This
yeah.
is becoming way too much.
It's becoming very extra right now, guys.
Yeah.
We're so extra. Okay, but then I have another stat that is just like, fucking, like everyone's heard it, and I've had questions about it, and I did a very bad job of looking up anything. But you know how they talk about like people in smaller European countries work like very short work weeks,
And
but
have
they're
vacation and benefits and
yeah.
it's
And
great.
like they're apparently like very productive. Like the work week went down, productivity stayed the same. So Norway was actually, everyone works, they're expected to work around 27 hours a week, which would come out to like a little over like 6 hours a day ish, 5 to
Yeah.
6 hours a day. and there's the second most productive country in the world according to expert market like
I believe
analytics.
it.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because they have like time to do whatever they want. I'm sure there are people who are like, oh, yeah, I'll stay late to finish what I'm working on, just because I know I don't have to come in till 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Right. That's like see, that's what's huge for me. I was gonna ask you guys your opinion on what your like favorite work week would be, but we can get to that after. Because it showed that the Norwegians are also like the happiest people, which is like I've heard German people are very happy, but like that area of the world seems to be very happy and they work like shorter hours. But the way they measured productivity was like, I think they did GDP, like gross domestic product, which is like the amount of dollar values of like goods and services.
Taking me back to what's it called?
Economics?
Econ, going to econ, baby. We're going to econ world. That'd be awful. Can you imagine that amusement park?
It's just a bunch of graphs.
Yeah, it's just like
I
graph
took
roller coaster, a
AP
roller coaster of
econ,
like
it
the
was like,
stock market
oh.
graph. Yeah, dude, econ was actually kind of interesting, but macro and micro it was kind of fun. Like macro was kind of fun, micro was very dry. But so yeah, GDP is gross domestic product. That's like the amount of goods and services that a country produces within its borders. And then gross national product is like how much a country produces with people abroad. So that would include like Norwegians that move to America would be gross national product. But this is like just people, I think, in their border, because those are the people working these hours. But they made like $53 per person per hour in like gross domestic product, which apparently is high. I have nothing to compare that to. Really terrible stats work. It's like, hey, it's $53 a person an hour.
Well, it also depends on like how big the country is, like what employment's like too.
Well, this is like per person. I think they're doing it.
So even the unemployed people are included in that? Because what if you're making
that's a good
$0
point. 'Cause
an
unemployed
hour?
people like aren't usually included in a lot of econ statistics, or like that's something that is like
Gray area.
yeah, it is a gray area of certain statistics include and do not include unemployment. Dude, didn't you know people in Norway, every single person has a job?
Really?
Or no, I don't know.
Oh,
I was like, well, that's a crazy
I was
statistic.
like, what?
Dude, statistics are so
Half
much more
of them
fun when you
know.
make them up. I should do that more often. But like, what would be your dream work week? I think my dream work week would be 6 hours, like 6 hours a day, and then like I guess I'm salary. I'm just thinking of like, I need an hour for lunch. Not always, but like I like having like, it's more better for my head to be like, oh, I can just like not take my whole lunch and work.
Mhm.
But it's like just knowing that you have an hour is like sometimes mentally.
I
Well,
usually
that's-
work through my lunch.
Yeah, every day. I work through my lunch every day.
These are badasses.
I
do
get
that,
there-
like I'm slowly working my way through my lunches. I'm like shoving.
I get to work at like
McDonald's in my face.
7 or 8, and then I just work through lunch and leave at 4.
Oh, you leave early. Okay, right on.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
just work 8 hours straight, and then just go home.
Yeah, straight up, homie.
Yeah, it definitely helps the traffic.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think the 6-hour workday is more conceivable, just in the sense that like, as a woman, I would come home and I'd like immediately think, okay, what am I gonna make for dinner? Okay, now I have time to prepare like an actual meal versus like getting home at 7 and like whatever's in the fridge that I can make super
It's
quick.
like, all right, Alyse, open up this spam. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dude, spam is not that bad. You
I've
gotta
I've
slice
never
it
had
thin.
it.
You gotta slice it thin and then fry it.
It's a delicacy in Hawaii.
It
It
is.
is.
That and
it's,
milk.
I'm gonna totally butcher this, but it's like spam misubi or misubi,
Yep, that's
Oh,
it.
you Mitsubishi.
Yep.
Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spam Mitsubishi.
But it's spam, rice, and then it's wrapped in seaweed. It's really good.
But I think what I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start going into work early because on Friday I went into work an hour early, and then we played Mario Party throughout lunch, and then I only had 3 hours left of work.
It was like a 10-turn game only.
Yeah, it was a 10-turn game.
Who won?
But I mean,
You win?
I wasn't even playing. I was just watching.
Who won?
Luis from work. You don't know him.
Good man.
He won. Good man,
What
Luis.
was
That
he,
Luis.
what was his character?
He was Wario, I think.
Wario's dice block is very
Or
good.
no, Waluigi?
I really
I
enjoyed
can't
Wario's
remember.
dice block. I didn't like Waluigi's.
But anyway, I would make dinner, and then I'd be like, oh shit, I have time to go to the gym. This is great. Then I'd go to the gym, and I'd live a healthier lifestyle because I work 6 hours a day.
As a man, I completely agree with every fucking thing you said.
As a human being.
Yeah, as a
myself,
human being.
It's a,
Like, it just makes sense.
it does, and like, then you can stay later if you need to. Like, that's the thing is like
I
when I
wouldn't
work.
feel, like, obligated to, but yeah,
I'd be
feel
willing
okay
to.
with. Yeah,
If you
you'd
have
be
stuff that
willing
you
to.
need to get done that day, I would be like, oh, I can do that. Especially, I think that would help. The thing is, we're used to that long hour work week, so you bring it down and like we'd be appreciative. But then
Yeah,
the
then in
next
the future-
generation's gonna be like, dude, this 6 hour work week's insane.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's gotta be 4 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I could see where that
Yeah,
would.
at what point does it like
Right.
bottom out?
Right. But then I think that's like the whole thing is it's ebbs and flows. Like, you have to change that stuff over time, and then it can change back if people want it to change back.
True.
But I don't know. I think I would work later instead of like at the end of like 8 hours. It's like, dude, I want to get the fuck out of here. Like, I've been here because I did the math. Like 8 hours, like with like hours in a week is 168. You're working like 40 of those, so you have like 120, 130 hours of free time. Then you're sleeping for like another 40 of those.
Yeah.
Like,
At least.
So you're down to like you got 80 hours. If you have no commute and if you like
Yeah, that's a huge thing too.
that's like 80 hours to do all the stuff you need to do. It actually doesn't when you have it in those numbers I was like, "Oh shit, that actually makes it sound like I have a lot of free time and I don't feel that way."
I almost would rather work 4 10-hour days and then have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just cuz like it saves your commute time too. Like
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. We were doing like 10-hour days and then working a half day on Friday and I fucking hated it.
Yeah, that.
And
for
if anyone
summer
from work
Fridays.
hears this, I loved it and I'm lying. No, it was the worst. It made me feel insane.
all right, I think that wraps it up
I'm down.
cuz
I'm
me and
down with
Alyse
that.
got to go soon.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is the end of Almost Random episode 27. Hopefully the audio's fine because there's some technical difficulties.
The mic stand also. We're gonna hold this.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
this
think-
is all over the place.
I think I'm gonna buy another one of these mics because it comes with the shock mount.
Yeah?
Like these ones that me and
I
you
should
bought.
get a different stand then. What stand is those?
I don't know. I bought
Guys,
these
this
on
is the part of
Amazon.
the podcast where we discuss the technical side of stands. And
All right.
mics.
Yeah. Our Twitter is at almost random with 2 M's. So tweet at us if you have a topic you want.
Yeah.
If
Please
not-
do. My topics suck. Give me some guidance, people. Need
I
help.
mean, my topics are very much like, all right.
All right.
And then and Troy's.
I'm gonna do more of that. Of like, all right, here's a weird scenario. Let's like really delve
let's
into
analyze
it.
this.
I'm like done with this. Like, I'm gonna try and teach people things because then it ends up with me doing a very shitty job where I'm like, I'm just disseminating wrong information. But,
All right. Yeah. I'm Joel Campos. You can find me on Twitter at Campos63.
I'm Alyse. You can find me at @A_Zordani, and that's ZORDANI.
And Troy Messy Mestamaker. What's your
Yeah.
Twitter handle?
I don't know, but you can find me at like a Golden Nugget Sundays, Armitage and Pulaski. I think I'll be there.
They're 24 hours, so you just gotta wait it out. He'll be
And
there at some point. in
I'll
time.
be there all 24 hours. I'll be there the whole day.
All right. And see you next time for episode 28, whenever that may be.
Yeah.
Christmas time.
Christmas time, bells are ringing, pods are Jesus Christ.
Something like that.